What's up, guys? This is Team Bad Deck, giving you guys another spooky deck profile with none other than Tyler over here. He is going to be bringing you guys Abdul, how to win with black, red, green, and go ahead and hit us off, man.
Alright, so playing Abdul, he's the go-to ruler at the moment. He is topping the most. He is an asshole. No one likes him. So, like Will said before, playing black, red, green. So 4 black red stones, 4 black green stones, basic bitch stone, and then your Grubalista, because you can. Abdul has this nifty thing where you can just tap this and activate him into Abdul right away. So that's why we play that. So Ebony Prophet is your ruler. You don't really ever use any of his ruler effects. It is all about his J activate side. Abdul al-Zahar, the Harbinger of Despair, because that is exactly what he brings, despair. He has a continuous and enter abilities of your opponent's cards do not trigger. And up to twice per turn you can pay a cost of 0 and negate a resonator or an addition's effect. So he is skill drain for free, and he's a 10/10 body, so he's really good. And he's there. And an asshole. For 1-drops, we play 4 and only 4. We're running the Demon package with Abdul, with the Summoning Art, because it's really cool. I'll talk about that in a sec. But we play 4 of your Ebony Devil. She is a pretty good 1-drop, 5/5 body. Her only cost is continuous effect. You take 200 damage at the end phase while she's on the field, which you can negate with Abdul, so she's just a vanilla 5/5 at that point, so really good for a 1-drop. Our next demon we play, your 2-drop 4 of, Needhard, the Demon Knight. His effect right now doesn't really matter, because there are no good light cards as of yet, but when the new Sage stuff comes out, he'll be a little better. He's unaffected by light cards. And he's your 2-drop demon. Our last 3 2-drops we play 2-0, the Magus of Null. Just because if you're playing the mirror match or you're going against Mephistopheles, she takes care of anything with flying, so they swing in with a flyer, you quick cast 0 and take their flying away and neg them 2/2. And she also gets rid of your opponent's chump blocks. Like if they're walling you with Cheshire Cats, Cheshire Cat can't be targeted, but 0 like AoE clears them for you when she's played. And then we're teching in 1 Laplacia. He's another demon that you could play more of. I just like him at 1. He's nice to see when you see him, but you don't want to see him when you don't want to see him. His continuous effect is you get to see the top card of your opponent's deck. They play with it revealed, and you can look at the top card of your deck whenever you want to, at any time. And then he has an active effect. You can tap him, and both players send the top card of their deck to the graveyard. So he's just an annoying little control card, and we're playing a control deck, so why not?
You wouldn't have to play the third 0 or something like that?
I only ever see me ever needing 2 zeros because we play Necronomicon, so if I need 0, she won't get her enter effect, but she's still a 7 body I can put on board with it. I don't know. Like, 0's one of those situational kind of cards. I just feel like 2 main board is pretty good with all the flying Blue has and Mephistopheles running around.
Makes sense.
Speaking of Mephistopheles, since he is a demon, once more, the man himself, Mephistopheles, at 3 in this deck. As stated in my previous Dracula profile, Mephistopheles is just the man right now. He is so undervalued and underappreciated. He is one of the cards, in my opinion, of this entire cluster. He is phenomenal. I love him.
You can just keep bringing him back with Abdul and Necronomicon.
Oh yeah, Mephistopheles never. He's the ass. He's the gift that keeps on giving. Douchebaggery. And that's it for our monster count, or monster. So for spells, our 1-drops, since we have red, rocking the 3 thunders. It's thunder. Why not play it if you have that ability to play red dual stones? Last 1-drop spell, mainboarding the 3 Bind of Gravities. This card has a pretty cheesy effect that you can get off with your man here, Mephistopheles. So what the Bind of Gravity does is an enter effect. You equip it to a Resonator, and you rest target Resonator. And then you can pay a cost of 3 to untap it. So you could either tap down your opponent's stuff so they can't block, get neutralized threats that way, or just prevent them from doing anything to you early game before you get presence on board. Or you can combo it with Mephistopheles. So let's say you swing with your Mephistopheles and it's tapped. You could pay put this on Mephistopheles, and he'll stay tapped because he can't untap unless you pay cost. You'll take the 500 damage from Mephistopheles, but you can pay a cost of 3 and restand it. Swing with it again.
And if you have another
because the battle phase is intermittent, and then he won't untap, but since this is still equipped to him, you can pay the 3 mana and stand him again. So Mephistopheles can keep swinging. And
for a 7 cost with only 1 black, it's a really easy play to get off to.
It's a pretty stupid combo. Like, I don't do it a whole lot. Mostly I just use it to, like, down tap threats so they can't block and all that. But I don't know. It's pretty fun to have. If you have it, why not play it? Since we're playing Abdul and it's a control deck, 2 Spiral of Despair make your opponent randomly discard cards. So, hand advantage is hard. If they're playing a deck that doesn't play Necronomicon or whatever, once their cards are discarded, that's pretty much it. There's no, like, graveyard play unless you're playing Necronomicon, so it just helps you hit threats or get rid of stuff your opponent's keeping key in their hand, or I don't know, it's annoying. It's a control card, so control deck needs a control card. And then, since we're playing black, and it's a control deck, we're rocking the 4 kill 'em all cards, the stoning to death. Just 2 black, kill any Resonator you want. It's insta-cast, so just body bags people. And then, what I was talking about before, for more 2-drop action for black, the Alzahard summoning art. Now, this card is really, really cool, I think. And if you're playing Abdul, I think you should try this out, even though I know the vampire one's a bit more consistent. But what it does is it lets you search for any demon resonator you want, and you reveal it to your opponent. And if your ruler is Abdul or Ebony Prophet, you get to pay 2 less black to summon all copies of the same demon that are in your hand. So let's say you search for one of your 1-drop or your 2-drop, and you have 2 in your hand. Since you searched it and you have the other ones in your hand already, they become 0-drops. You can just put them on board for free. So you can flood your board with all your little dudes. If you search Mephistopheles, this takes away the black cost, so he just becomes a 2 colorless cost.
So if you have, 6 mana, you can drop 2 Mephistopheles just because.
I wouldn't recommend dropping 2 Mephistopheles because at the end phase they would kill each other with their effects. But
too much douchebaggery in one room.
Yeah, but unless you have game, then you can drop 2 Mephistopheles swing. Well, I mean, you'd have to give them swiftness, so I guess you'd have to play Pumpkin Witch too. But I don't know. I think this card opens up a lot of really cool combos that I think anyone who's playing Abdul should at least try, even though it's not exactly like meta or whatever. I don't know. I really like this card, especially with Meph. It's really cool. Now for our green splash, we're playing 3 of this card, Law of Silence. Law of Silence is really cool, and it combos really hilariously with this deck. What it does is the target player cannot play any normal spells or summon spells until the end of their turn. So what you do with this horrible monstrosity of an instant chant is when your opponent draws and when they're about to recover their stuff, you go ahead and cast it. So all they get to do is recover their stones and draw a card. Unless they have stuff on board. They can play with what they have on the field, but they're not allowed to play any new stuff. So what you do is when this goes to the graveyard after you use it, or if your opponent discards it from your hand somehow with Spiral or whatever, you play Necronomicon, and then you can play this from your graveyard like you would your hand, and then you use Abdul's effect to turn off Necronomicon so this doesn't get banished and it goes back in your graveyard, and you can perpetually give yourself extra turns because you can just keep doing this every time your opponent draws, and make it so that they can't play another card as long as you have mana. And yeah, you can just win off of that because you can just punch in with Abdul for 10 every turn and then just Law of Silence them. More green we're playing. Defensively, 2 Cake Zones because we don't like it when people Law of Silence us or Z's us or anything of that. So it just negates a summon spell for a cost of a green and a colorless. Cake Zone, if anyone's familiar with the game, they're familiar with Cake, or green, they're familiar with Cake Zone. And then our last green spell we play Z's because we like to protect Abdul from card effects, and we like to make our opponent not summon more cards. So it's pretty much, solemn warning if anyone's familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! Or it protects stuff from card effects. Z's solid card. It's instacast too. And then our very last card for the deck is the 3 Necronomicon. I'd like to be able to play less, but since I'm not playing Splashing Blue, so I don't really have a draw engine, I feel like I need to play the 3 in order to see it, and if people side against me to get rid of my additions, I'd like to have it because it's your key card. It's what sets up your plays. Necronomicon and Abdul is just so good. Like, the combos are ridiculous.
Being able to stop yourself from discarding all your cards and being able to keep all of your cards in the graveyard to continuously use them is probably the most effective way to use Abdul, I'd think. Because you can perpetually Law of Silence and Stoning to Death and Thunder people. And because you play at least 3 copies of all of these, you can do that.
Yeah, the Law of Silence with Necronomicon is just so ridiculous. It's pretty much the gayest thing ever. Like, I don't even... There's nothing in, like, any card game that I've ever played that compares to the level of gay that is.
Very true. Would you try and change anything up? Maybe, like, when some more of the... Magus support comes out to be able to counter that, or would you even try?
I will probably end up playing the Black Magus when the Black Sage when he comes out. Grubalista himself, the guy that goes with the Sealing Stone. He has not been spoiled yet or leaked, so I don't know what his effect is. But I do want to play the new Cthulhu card. Oh my god, that new Nyarlathotep, gonna play it in there, and might even cut 0 for it. It's literally Mind Crush. You look at your opponent's hand, rip a card from it. It's an 8/8 3-drop, I think. So, or a 4-drop. It's really good.
Maybe take out the Spirals of Despair or something.
No, I'll probably keep Spiral. I'll take out the Laplacia, and then I might take out...
Maybe a Stoning, because you have 3...
I have 4. I might take out a Stoning. I have 4 right now. I just feel that Stoning's really good for control, especially in Mirror Match. Like, I don't want to lose to Mephistopheles.
And everything you have is black, so you're most likely going to be able to use it. That's true.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for sticking with us. This is Team Bad Deck, bringing you guys another deck profile. Be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Let us know your love, hate, any feedback y'all have. Otherwise, this is
this video if you think Abdul's an asshole.
Yeah, if you think so, then, that gets one more like every time that somebody thinks Abdul is an asshole.
And I don't know, maybe I'll buy you guys candy or something.
Yeah, maybe. but he has to grow a pedo stash first. Well, this is Team Bad Deck signing out, y'all.